What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. Uh, Costa Rica, the Wi-Fi has been good for most of the week, but today it's been a little dodgy. So we're gonna try to do this and see what happens. We're gonna talk Premier League. Frank Lampard has become the new Graham Potter. He's on sack watch after losing 4 games in a row. Man United win with Maguire as center back and all the other injuries that we have. Damn, Lee, Southampton, trouble again, lost again. So I was checking Lee's here to see how he feels. And Spurs lost, Newcastle lost. What the hell is going on at Villa? What a complete revolution. Every team should get a coach that can't speak English because those players are understanding him. And thanks for listening on Spotify, iTunes, and Omni Studio, wherever you're listening. What up? And thanks for watching on YouTube. Like and subscribe. How are you feeling, Lee? Stand-up comedy from England, Southampton fan.
Yeah. I mean, I said on the last podcast that I'd kind of want Palace to beat us so we can just be put out of our misery soon, rather than give me any hope. And I mean, and that happened. I'm going to Arsenal versus Southampton on Friday at the Emirates, and I'm calling all of our remaining games the farewell tour. Because that's what this is now. This is farewell to the Premier League. I'm going to go and visit these stadiums one last time until we come back. Hopefully one day, touch wood. But yeah, I mean, I'm in that mood right now. But it was an interesting weekend of football. Like if I, as neutral looking at the other games, definitely a really interesting weekend.
You guys are like trying to be the reverse Bournemouth of the Premier League. Like Bournemouth, Burnley of the Premier League. Like Burnley was the first team in the championship to get promoted with games left, and you guys are trying to be the first team in the Premier League to get demoted down to the championship. So we'll see if you achieve that or not. And I feel you. When it's bad, it's just bad. And even today, there's something in the highlights of the game that just wasn't. When shit ain't going right, it just doesn't go right, and it's just what it is. So, what are some of the interesting things as a neutral now that you've like resigned yourself to be in the championship that happened in the Premier League today that you thought was interesting?
I mean, title race got tighter. Arsenal are trying their best to open that door up a little bit wider for City, give them that glimpse in there. But all it does is it just makes that game between Arsenal and City even bigger. It was already a huge game, and it just makes it even bigger because City are 4 points behind them now with a game in hand. They'll probably win that game in hand. They'll probably both win next weekend. Arsenal will definitely get to beat us. So, when they get to that game at the Etihad, that's just going to be so big. Right, it's almost like a title playoff game. I know there's other stuff that could happen. They could both drop points against other teams in the meantime. But yeah, it's setting things up nicely for a real tense sort of final run of games now.
Yeah, this is the playoff system that Bowley wanted. Like games like this, when the season comes down to there's a lot of American people that don't understand English football, and they don't understand that you play the regular season and it just ends with who has the most points. But there is a playoff system, and Arsenal versus Man City, or it's actually any game that involves Arsenal with anybody, and any game that involves Man City without anybody is the playoffs, because that's going to determine by the end who's going to win it. You don't need a whole new league at the end of the season to have playoffs. It's actually built in. And that was Arsenal. I didn't feel that Arsenal lost the league last week, but this week feels more like they lost it because I saw Arteta's reaction at the end of the game. I saw his reaction when they missed the penalty against West Ham, and I saw Saka's reaction. And last week when they tied 1-1 against Liverpool, they were very positive, and I felt they needed to be positive to not feel the pressure. But I feel like they feel the pressure now. So I'm not going to say they're going to win the league. I'm not going to say they're going to lose the league, but it is tougher. And I feel like now is when they're going to start feeling the pressure of, like we were talking about midweek, Man City not only are winning, they're winning in form and style. Like what they did to Leicester today. And there's something about that Leicester game. I'm going to look it up, which was about that Leicester, Man City versus Leicester.
They could afford to take Haaland off at half time. They were like, oh, he's done enough.
Which is super insulting to the other team, but the other team's so weak they can't do nothing about it. They just have to take that insult and just deal with it. What you gonna do? I'm looking for, where do you find the XG for that game? Because there's something.
There's a couple of websites with it on. Let me have a look.
See if you can find an XG for the Man City Leicester game and just tell it to me. And for a team that was battered, yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't much in it XG wise. Man City's XG was 1.61 and Leicester's 1.93.
So Leicester's was higher, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? In a game that they felt, you seemed like they were battered. And especially when Leicester started that game, in the half block, like circle wagons and in defense. And sometimes it's just weird how teams and the appearance of a game looks compared to what some of the actual stats and facts are. So Leicester looked like they was just, they took Haaland off halftime, but I don't know, maybe most of that XG happened in the second half, but that is not the game that I thought I saw.
Yeah.
From the Leicester highlights, because I could say.
Leicester had chances for sure. Edison was called into action a little bit. They scored, they scored their goal as well, which was a great ball from Maddison. Mm-hmm. Leicester have always got players in there that can hurt teams. They're just a team who's been defending horrendously this season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, this City had 12 shots. Leicester had 11. City had 4 on goal. Leicester had 4 on goal. These are key stat areas, but except that Haaland took the shots for City, and there's no Haaland on Leicester to take the shots for Leicester. So, yeah, one was a penalty, and then but City's coming. They're doing their thing. It's the end of the season. They're doing their thing. And whoever's in front of them, you're going to feel the hero on the back of your neck stand up because they're going to be breathing on it. And they're coming for you. And this is what they do. And these guys are experienced.
I'm losing you. I'm not getting any of this.
I was just saying, Arsenal has you next. Let's see who City got next. Can you hear me? You heard that?
Yeah, just about. Yeah. Man City. Man City have got a free game week.
Damn.
But they've got, because I think they got the FA Cup semi-final, so they haven't got a Premier League game. They got Bayern midweek,
FA
and then they
Cup?
got Sheffield United in the FA Cup semi-final. Their next scheduled game is Arsenal in the league.
Oh shit!
On the 26th.
Damn.
So they got Bayern on the 19th, Sheffield United on the 22nd, and then Man City Arsenal on the 26th. So yeah, they got no other Premier League games until that one. So that's what I mean. That's why it's so huge, because whatever happens in that game will swing, I think, the race in the winner's favour, or if it's a draw, it leaves it all open still.
Right. Yeah, like we discussed, like midweek, like Arsenal's schedule is way tougher than City's. So not only are they like City rolling hard and fast towards towards Arsenal, they get that easier schedule. I'll try not to stay on long today because of having some Wi-Fi issues. Like I was saying, Costa Rica Wi-Fi in this hotel is not cooperating with this podcast. It's not a fan. It's not a fan. So, Chelsea versus Wolves. Was it Wolves? What did they play? Chelsea versus Brighton. At Chelsea, it's like the only credit I can give Chelsea is that Bowley's at the games. He's there. He's sitting there just like Abramovich used to sit there. But Abramovich used to see way better results than this. And they cut to the reaction shots of Bowley, like losing. And he's trying. Like, for somebody that doesn't know anything about the sport, he's trying. He's at the games. He's there. He's making mistakes off the field. Like, to spend all that money and not be able to score is pretty damning. And now Frank is there. He's lost 4 in a row. What do you think about this situation?
I mean, being impressed by the owner
I don't know
being...
how much of that you heard.
Yeah, I heard. Being impressed by the owner being at the games is a pretty low bar, and it shows where the ownership. I
mean, it's
sort of low. It's better than the Glazers are doing, I guess.
Yeah, that's who it's coming from. It's coming from a Man United fan whose owners. Todd Bowley has been to more Chelsea games, and he's only owned that team less than probably 6 months, and he's been to more games than our owners at Glazers. So, from my POV, that's a positive, but it's the only positive. The only positive.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and then I find the whole situation at Chelsea pretty hilarious. Lampard's first home game. I mean, and I kind of feel for them a little bit in that when they went and played Wolves away, they lost to an absolute wonder goal. And in this game, again, they lost to an absolute wonder goal. And Ciso, I mean, he couldn't have hit that any better, really, for that winning goal. That is a hell of a goal. I mean, yeah, it was an entertaining game, this one. It was end-to-end stuff. The keepers were forced into action at both ends. Chelsea did score a goal, which is an improvement on the last 2 games under Lampard. They got 1. So that's something. But I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be confident going into this Real Madrid second leg after that. But props to Brighton. Brighton are, technically Brighton should have been the favourites for that game because they're doing way better this season than Chelsea are, and Brighton are a problem. They'll turn up and they won't give you anything for free. They'll give you a game no matter who you are. So it's a weird feeling when you're not that surprised by Brighton beating Chelsea at Chelsea. It's a strange feeling, but that just shows, 1, the decline of Chelsea, and 2, the rise of Brighton. So Those two things have both gone in those different ways. And yeah, credit to Brighton. They did really well. They've got good players. It'd be interesting to see if their scouting department can keep up the good work and replace those players that are definitely going to leave in the summer. Casado, McAllister, people like that. Mitoma, people are probably going to try and prize him away. But the guy who was responsible for a lot of that at Brighton is now at Chelsea. He moved with Potter, so it'd be interesting to see if Brighton have someone else in charge now who can keep that gravy train rolling, because it's making the club a lot of money, and it's going to make them money when a lot of these players leave and move on to bigger things. But credit to them. Like I say, poor old Frank. I sort of pity him, but I sort of don't. He's, but let's see what they can do against Real Madrid now.
Neil Chakravarty joined us at the right time because we're talking about Chelsea. And before I let you say anything, Neil, after the game, Frank gave a press conference post game, and he was like, "We have to do better. That is not a Chelsea performance." And you could cut and paste that post game speech and take out the word Chelsea and put it in his first stint at Chelsea. You could put it in his stint at Everton. Like, he said these same things, we got to do better. And he said it again at his second stint. And it's like, that's on you, Frank. You got to get them up to that. Like, today Villa played at home against Newcastle, a team above the table. And from the beginning of that game, Villa was at it. And their coach he's not newer than you, but he's pretty new. He's just, he's an experienced coach. And Frank should not try to get more experience on the job. He should apprentice with somebody, or go to Germany or somewhere where the courses could teach you really the game. And it's not just a tactical thing. If you think their performance was not up to a Chelsea performance, that means you talk about energy levels and defense, and just beat 50-50s and stuff. That's the shit that you should actually be able to coach. That should be your strong point. And you're not even succeeding in your strong point. You might not know any tactical shit, but you should be able to put that part of your blueprint on this team. So to say that, and like Lee said it was end-to-end stuff, and Chelsea did play, and they actually scored a goal. So I don't even think the comment was right. But I don't know if you saw the game, Neil, but I kind of know how you feel, but tell us. So what?
No, I'm not that foolish to start my vacation seeing Chelsea
Go ahead.
lose. I'm not trying to watch Chelsea lose every game. No, I didn't see the game, and I didn't see the press conference you're talking about, but I did catch some of the quotes. And I feel like anytime a manager has to spend every press conference talking about passion.
What time is it in India? Are you in Singapore?
No, I'm in India right now, but it's 5:30 in the morning. Are you not able to hear me fine?
I can hear you okay.
Okay. It's still a little bit of a lag, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, if you can hear me, what I was saying was that I think.
Sorry guys, we're trying. Yeah, there's a lag.
There's a lag.
And my Wi-Fi ate that. So now you're.
Yeah, I can see both of us have the the wood panels. We're clearly not in the USA.
I'm hearing Neil.
Background.
I'm getting Neil pretty clear.
Okay. All right. So basically what I was saying was that I think every time you're seeing a pattern now, every press conference, Lampard's pretty much talking about the passion, the ability to win duels and stuff like that. I feel every time as a manager, you have to come out and say that more than once. You've already failed at your job. And it's kind of, you're saying that because you're trying to avoid talking about the real topic, which is an absolute lack of on-field tactics and ability to out strategize the other manager and out-strategize the other team. Try and get that spare man in offense that helps your team in attacks. From what I've heard, is that's just not something that's happening. I haven't seen the last game, and I was hoping if it's a good game, because I was on a flight, but I was hoping if it's a good game, I'll probably go and watch the whole game back. But there's no chance I'm doing that. Yeah, I think the way the team is set up right now is just like everybody's just waiting for the season to end. There's no element of fight either from the manager or from the players. Nobody's trying out to do something to win their place in the team, because they know this manager is not going to be around anyway. So yeah, it's just a state of limbo right now. Everybody's just waiting for the season to end.
To be honest, Mudryk looked like he played good today. Like I didn't get to see that game either because of where I'm at and the availability of the games, but he popped up a lot in the highlights. Like he had one of his best games since the first game he had since he's been there. But Lee, is what Lampard said accurate compared to what you saw as far as Chelsea's effort?
For me, yeah, I think they were a little bit better. Like I say, they scored a goal, which is better than the last two games anyway. And like I say, Brighton are a tough team. That's a hard game.
Brighton are a far better team, and
yeah, Mitoma,
better matchup with them right now.
Just going down. Who, Brighton? Have a far better manager and team?
Yeah.
I think they have a far better manager, and he's more in sync with that team. But I don't know if they have a better team. I know that.
No, I'm not talking about individuals.
The highlights. Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about like the way they are right now. They're a far better team.
Right. Yeah, I was talking about individuals, so my bad.
Yeah.
But I think they have I was watching like a young team that was a young, expensive team versus a really cheap, good team. Like if you calculate the ages on both squads, it's gonna probably come out even. Like Brighton bought players but got them cheap, and they're all around the same age of the Chelsea players who were bought. But like, I'm not gonna say they're overpriced, but it's just like it's almost like a parallel or comparison. And then the expensive team has the coach who should be coaching and learning while coaching the Brighton cheap team and the coach that's coaching the cheap team should be coaching the expensive team because he's got more experience and knows how to get them playing. So it's just a funny juxtaposition. Anything else you want to say about your trials and tribulations?
I mean, the Madrid game is really only the last roll of the dice.
How's the base feeling about it?
Base is just like the team. Like, there's no people aren't even that bothered to have arguments anymore. Like, it's just like, or whatever. We realize where we are at, and just get the season over, get us to the summer. And there's no passion even in the fan base. Like, there's a lot of shrugging of the shoulders there. What can we do? So everybody just is looking forward to the summer, and hopefully we get performances back on track.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. That's exactly where United was last year. That's like the exact same, yeah. Like with Ragnick, but the only thing is, stuff kept on coming out midweek out the locker room. So then that was like, ugh, like who needs that? Well, going back, that wasn't good. Yeah.
I will say this interim appointment looks a little. I mean, of course, it's hindsight, but I was wondering, like, Potter's gonna go. Can't really go wrong. Like, the only way from here is up. It turns out I was wrong. Like, because at least we were like playing well and not winning games. Now we're not playing well and not winning games. So there's a difference there.
It's the Lampard effect, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
It's
think
been
you
really
had,
bad. Like,
now go ahead. And I
no, I
think
think
your
like, I
XG
mean, the
was
team
like
looks
mad low
really,
today. It was like,
yeah. The XG actually ever since,
yeah,
you know,
XG
our,
went backwards from Potter.
yeah, the XG has been poor. Like, you know, we are not dominating, and most of the game is being played in our third as opposed to the other opponent's half. It's so, yeah. I mean, the team is. I think the way to go should have been the continuity with some of, you know, like the Bruno guy. But I think if they wanted to change it, now the team is just completely confused. Like they're receiving the third set of instructions in the same season, and there's no reason to believe like one set is you know, there's been an upgrade. So if anything, there's been a downgrade. So yeah, it's just the end is not in sight. Like, we don't know how low can we go. I'm a little worried, like, if you're gonna get right into a relegation fight, because, you know, we had like an 8-point cushion and now we've dropped 6 points from those teams behind us. Oh, not even 6. Yeah, we've dropped 6 points. You'll have had 2 losses. So we're not that far from the Crystal Palaces and you know, the West Hams of the world.
Yeah, but you have 39 points. So 39-40 is the safe. That's how you know you're gonna stay up. Like Crystal Palace.
Yeah, but we have 1 point in 4 games
36.
though. We've had 1 point in 4 games though. So
you got more than 4 more games to get 1 more point.
all right, I'll believe you.
You'll get your. It's hilarious. Frank should be able to get 1. He's won a point with worse teams before in 4 games when he's at Everton. So he should be able to.
I didn't realize like we were buying.
He didn't become that much of a worse coach.
I didn't realize we're getting Lampard because of his experience of staving off relegation with Everton. You know.
Now you know. That's why you got him.
Yeah.
I wanna pat Man United on the back a little bit for their 2-0 demolishing Nottingham Forest today. And you're welcome, Lee. You're welcome, Lee. We sent them tumbling down the table towards you. So if you want to use that as a gift, fine. If not, that's on you. But yeah, man, we went to Nottingham Forest, like a team that's like struggling. So, you know, wounded animals fight hard, but there was no fight in them today. And Man United looked really impressive. We attacked from second one since the whistle blew, and we were fluid and we looked great. And it was a game that I was worried about because, you know, we build from out of the back, and the best defenders or ball-playing defenders, Varane and Martinez. Martinez is out for the season. We don't know how long Varane is out. So we were worried about, if we get pressed, are we going to ever be able to get the ball out the back? But Forest did not really press. And when they did, it wasn't good. I don't know why any team would play United and not press them. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. You're only going to hurt yourself, because once we get that ball forward, we have people. Our strong point is our forwards and our midfield, like, especially like right now. So to not interrupt the supply of where the goals are going to come from doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know what Cooper was doing today. He's a good coach. I have no idea what he was doing today, but Anthony looked good, goal and an assist. Bruno looked amazing as a 10. Ericsson was back. Sabitzer, another piece of bad luck. Sabitzer got injured in the warm-up, so we lost him. But thank God Ericsson is back, so he slid right in there. So I feel like what helped us today without our ball-playing defenders was the fact that Forrest did not press and that our midfield triangle is solid. When you got Bruno, Casemiro, and Ericsson, that makes you feel better. So that's the only thing about, that's solid. It's like, it's like last year with Lindelof and Maguire, that midfield would have definitely finished further up the table, so. and Maguire definitely made some mistakes at the beginning of the game that he got a yellow card immediately.
3 minutes.
That's just to troll you guys. That's just to troll the United fans. Right.
No,
you guys worried about me? I'll give you something to worry about.
No, when he scored that own goal midweek, that was the real troll. Cause but we look good, and some people were naming players, but I think Sancho didn't score today, but he played really good. Like, I think people ignore like somebody who helps you hold the ball and build out the back and get it out of there, and who makes good passes, even if they're not like direct assists, but good passes in the final third that help you hold on to the ball. I can see his confidence growing. So I want United fans to like just chill a little bit. And a player does not have to score to be effective in a game. I felt like he was good with the ball today, and he's just gonna only get better. Like I'm rooting for Sancho. I like the kid. Anthony, the fans or some people have been on him, but good, well played today. Great assist to Delot, who played on the left today because Shaw's out, and so he had to switch sides. He's 2-footed, and he went over there, did a good job. Wan-Bissaka just locking it down like nothing. And it was like so much extra effort and desire, and all that passion that Frank Lampard claims he didn't see at Chelsea. It was on the field today for United. So full display and good. Let's see what happens midweek against Sevilla. Hopefully we could, still pull this off. And we'll see what's up. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Southampton, do you want to do this league against?
Yeah, why not?
Can I just say before we start, Eze all day. Eze all day, man.
It's a baller.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Neil, you might not watch Chelsea play, but go look at some Eze highlights of what he did to Southampton, and it's like he plays different in the Championship because it's easier, but he's getting his Championship form into the Premier League, and I feel like next season is going to be that season where it's all about Eze.
Well, now that he's got a manager who knows how to use him.
Wow.
Good old Grandpa Hudson.
But I mean, like, Palace didn't even really turn up in the first half in this game. We were the better team in the first half. I even sent the stats through to the group chat at half time, and I said, we're actually playing quite well with a better team, which means we're definitely going to lose. And lo and behold, second half, we just roll over for them. And it was disappointing because that first half we had a couple of good chances. Aribo started a game in the Premier League for the first time in ages. He had a big chance. Walcott had a big chance. But these guys weren't even hitting the target. They were putting those shots into the stand. Like, we're so bad in front of goal. And that's why Arsenal have nothing to worry about on Friday when we go and play them, because we can't even hit the target. We can't even make keepers make saves right now. I mean, the only team we could score against recently was Spurs, which says that tells you all you need to know about Spurs right now. The fact that we scored 3 against them is insane. But we just can't score goals. We can't score goals, and that means we can't win games. And if we can't win games, we're never going to get out of this position. So I'm, like I say, our remaining games from now to the end of the season, it's a farewell tour. That's all it is. Like, we didn't have any fight the second half. As soon as they scored one goal, we didn't really fight. The players seemed resigned to it. The fans seemed resigned to it. People didn't even really boo that hard at the final whistle. People were just leaving way before the end of the game. Just like, here we go. That's the thing. Like, I wouldn't, like, getting relegated is pretty disappointing when it happens, but you can kind of stomach it a little bit more if your team actually fights, and if you see in the games that they're really fighting. And I've seen it a couple of times, but not enough from us. Like, the quality is just way too far off, especially at the top end of the pitch and at the back as well, because we can't defend. And credit to Eze though. I mean, the first goal was just good following in off of the cross that got tipped onto him, but the second goal was different class. The way he turned and just accelerated, and the shot was like a laser. That was just like, just arrowed into the bottom corner. Like, so yeah, fantastic goal. And yeah, his confidence is up. He's playing well. But I it's just another game where it's like, what would happen if we actually had a couple of players who could take chances, because first half Palace didn't really have a sniff, and then second half we gave them those opportunities to go and win the game, and they took them, and we don't have the quality to do that ourselves.
You think I want to just mention, like you said, shots were off, and one of the people whose shots were off was Walcott. Like, he had an opportunity and he skied it. And so my question is, do you think relegation rigor mortis has set in already? Like, you guys,
100%.
The team, the players, like you said, they're not consistent. So they've mentally, like, said, all right, we're going down, and we're going to, like, try to appear that we care anymore, or that we not relegated, but we're done. So you think, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, the first half they tried. It was just a lack of quality in front of goal. Players don't miss the target because they've given up. They miss the target because they're not good enough. Or they're sort of, just, it's hard. But then as soon as there's any adversity, that's when we did seem to give up a little bit. As soon as Palace scored one, I'm like, well, this game's done. And, Sellers was trying to make changes. He was throwing substitutes on, but it just doesn't change anything. So, like I say, I've accepted it now. We ain't getting anything at Arsenal on Friday. So, yeah, I mean, I think us and Leicester, in my opinion, even though Leicester have got players in their team that are capable of scoring goals, I think us and Leicester are done. And then I think it's one from Forest, Everton and Leeds that will join us.
Everton lost today. But let me ask you a question. I don't mean to tease you with hope, but wouldn't it be crazy when you play Arsenal if Theo Walcott scored the winning goal or a tying goal that would make his old team drop points and not win it? Wouldn't that be crazy?
I'm sure you'd see one of the typical, like, celebrations where it's just like, no, sorry. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it'd be entertaining to see. I mean, like I say, I'm going to be at the game. It's a Friday night, so yeah, I mean, I'd love us to be able to do something there. But like I say, the main reason I'm only going is just to enjoy a Premier League stadium for the last time. It's yeah, I don't think Arsenal got anything to worry about, to be honest.
How do you, Lee? What do you make of?
I saved this game for last. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask about the manager, like, because he's now had a good run of quantity of games that he's managed in. Mm-hmm. What do you think of Ruben Ceres, and how's it looking for him for next season?
I mean, the players seem to like him. They've spoken about him doing good work on the training ground. I just think he's inexperienced, and he's also working with a squad that's extremely limited. So and then everyone's hopes were really high after he beat Chelsea in the first game. He got the contract purely off of beating Chelsea, And we've played okay in other games, but the same problems have persisted. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm happy to keep him in the Championship if there's no obviously better alternatives. If for some crazy reason Potter would agree to going into the Championship, I would take that all day long. But I would rather give Sellers a chance than hire some, journeyman manager who's failed.
Nathan Jones.
Yeah. So I would rather we give Sellers a chance if there is no like clearly better alternatives. But also, if and when we go down, the squad's going to need such a big overhaul because there's so many players who we either won't want to keep or who won't want to stay. So there's going to be a lot of players that leave. So I have no idea what the squad even looks like next season if we go down. But if it is Sellers, they need to work with him to buy players that can play how he wants to play, rather than some scattergun approach that we've been using. All of our last sort of few windows have been panic buys, and just sort of not really putting a team together that has a certain way of playing. Under Hassan, we wanted to press, and then under Jones, we wanted to be a bit more long ball. We signed a 6'7" striker that doesn't get played anymore, apart from off the bench as a last resort. And we've just got a bit of a Frankenstein team where there's certain players who are suited to certain styles of play, but the whole group isn't suited to one style. And that's why the performances are just bad.
I think next season is going to be a very different team because some of the players, they would want to leave because they don't want to play in the Championship. And then a bunch of players, you would want to get rid of them because they are not good enough.
Exactly. So, yeah. And, I pray to God we get Nathan Teller back from Burnley because he's scored a bunch of goals for them in the Championship this year. And, hopefully, I'm sure they'll try and keep him. But I would love it if we could get hold of him and get him back, because I think he can make a real difference for us next season in that league.
I'm gonna try to cheer you both up. The last game.
Oh, I know what's coming.
See, Lee's excited already. So,
Spurs.
Some team called Bournemouth went to Tottenham Hotspur's new stadium and played them today. And Neil, I don't know if you heard the score. Guess what the score was?
I heard. Cobham boy Dom Solanke did the thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, even better. One of your old players, one of your players helped to bring you joy. Not for your team, but at least against Martin's team. And Bournemouth did the reverse of what Spurs did to them a few weeks ago. Bournemouth went up 2-0. Spurs, at Bournemouth, and Spurs came back and won that game 3-2. Similar circumstances, not exactly the same, but Spurs were ahead at home, and you think they got this. And Bournemouth scored last minute to beat Spurs at home, this is damaging. This is damaging. Like it's
big
just
crisis.
Damaging. Like, what do you guys think of this? Big crisis, huge crisis.
First off, credit to Bournemouth, because I thought about a month ago they looked dead as well. They were in poor form. They got an inexperienced manager. I was like, oh, they look pretty fucked. And then they've put some really impressive results together, and I didn't see it coming. A couple of the new signings they've made have breathed a bit of air into their team. So Ouattara, who they got from Lorient in France, he looks a real dangerous player. Solanke's actually been playing well. He's been he's looked out of his depth in the Premier League at times in the past, but he's playing well at the moment. He took his goal really well as well, just dinked the ball over Lloris. But I just thought it was funny watching Spurs get an equaliser and they think they're back in the game, and then 96th minute or whatever it was, 95th minute, just to crush them was absolutely hilarious. But Yeah, I mean, credit to Bournemouth, Tottenham. Yeah, got to be worried. I saw a lot of Levy out stuff going around from Tottenham fans. I know they're not happy. The manager, I think, refused to shake hands with the Bournemouth manager, Stellini. He wouldn't shake hands with O'Neill after the game.
Why is he shooting with every manager? Like, what has Conte passed on to him? He now has to have beef with everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they celebrated in his face or something after the third goal, but yeah, he refused to shake hands, and O'Neill called him out for it in the post-match press conference. But I mean, yeah, it brings me a small amount of consolation and joy that Spurs are messing up and they're not going to get top four, I don't think, which would be lovely if that happened. But I mean, Newcastle are in a good position at the moment, even though they lost today or lost tomorrow or yesterday, sorry, to Villa. And yeah, I mean, Villa and Newcastle and Brighton are all teams who could conceivably make it. I mean, Spurs could still do it if they can somehow find some form, but it doesn't look like they're going to right now, and I'm pretty happy with that.
I mean, Bournemouth are 14th. They have 33 points, which means they are 6 points behind 11th place Chelsea in the table. So if you wanted to see what type of season Chelsea are having, like if you didn't think it was that bad, or like Bournemouth would be just 6 places behind them. It's pretty crazy. Aston Villa, what they're doing is fucking crazy. It is just bananas. Like Lampard had this team in the relegation zone, and now they're sixth, and they just beat the team that was. I mean, Gerrard. Sorry, I like that. Their coaching results are so similar. I'm mixing them up. My bad. But
we don't debate Gerrard and Lampard.
Like they were similar as players, and now their coaching record and results are similar. Like, so it's crazy. And but yeah, Villa, thank you for taking Newcastle down a peg and helps us to be third in the table. And Emery Unai is just doing his thing. Is there anything else you guys want to discuss on this insecure Wi-Fi between India and Costa Rica?
I'm all good.
Although
one thing.
Go ahead.
One thing I will point out, unfortunately, I leapfrogged Martin on Saturday in the fantasy football rankings, but then he got some points today that put him back above me just. So I'm going to have to hunt him down again.
Go get him, Lee.
Where are me and Neil at in this fantasy league?
You don't even want to know. Just give me 5 minutes to scroll down the table that far.
Damn.
You guys are the Southampton of fantasy football. That's how bad you are. Now, Ian, you're still 33rd out of 34, and Neil, you're 20. You're still 29th at 34. Out of 34? But now 33 out of 34 for Ian, 29 for
That's
for
amazing
Neil.
Consistency, though.
Yeah.
I would like to say I would like to say like I would have done far better than this, but the players in my team, they're just not playing with enough passion. They don't have the drive. It's all completely down to them.
But yeah, I'm 8th, Martin's 7th, but he's only 1 point ahead of me. So yeah, I think he's got a couple of Liverpool players to play though, and I haven't. So yeah, he's got Van Dijk and
Who's Liverpool playing? Is that today?
They're playing Leeds tomorrow. Or well, it might be today for you, tomorrow for me.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, it's today.
Tomorrow meaning Monday or Tuesday?
Monday.
It's Monday, right? Yeah, Monday, yeah.
Yeah, Liverpool Leeds.
Monday. Okay, yeah, I see it.
the good thing about being in India is the Premier League games are at
so
the best times. Like they're bang at like 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. in the evening.
Well, this one won't be. This one will be late, won't it? Because it's.
This will be late. This will be midnight.
It's,
this is like Champions League. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. How's the trip so far?
It's pretty good. Singapore was amazing. We just had like 12 hours there, but we packed a lot of things within it. Got a few cocktails, went down, got some cheap street food. And India's been hot, but I kind of expected that. So I'm like trying my best to like move from air conditioning to air conditioning to air conditioning.
What part of India are you in?
I'm in Calcutta. That's where my folks are at. So
cool.
Yeah, okay. Eastern part gets pretty humid here. So yeah, today's I got to go down to the US Embassy today. So yeah, hoping for some good luck. In the heat, yeah.
Oh, I think we're losing you a bit, Ian.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We're about to have some dinner. Sorry about bad Wi-Fi. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Check it out.
Damn. Yeah. Sorry about the bad Wi-Fi. It's going to be a hilarious, technically glitched episode. But thank y'all for joining. Enjoy your vacation. Neil, enjoy your vacation. Lee, enjoy the farewell tour. And we'll try to get back at this. Everybody, thank you for listening. Be good. Love each other. See you all, or you could hear us next week. One.